Hello and welcome. My name is Steph Bellissimo and this is a yoga class. I'm glad you're here. For today's class, you may want to have a couple of blocks or one block at least. If you don't have a block handy, grab a couple of thick books so you can reach down to the floor at various moments and put your hand on something if you can't reach the ground. And it might also be nice for you to have a pillow nearby, especially if you're practicing on a harder surface. Go ahead and come to standing and place one hand over your chest and one hand over your belly. You can close your eyes or just soften your vision down towards the floor. And begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. And I want you to try and feel the movement of your breath move into both your upper hand and your lower hand. Take a nice breath in and out. Do that again. Breathe in and let it go. Now go ahead and keep your attention on your breathing. I want you to move your hands to the sides of your ribs. This time when you breathe, see if you can move both of your hands, but of course now your breath is widening into the sides of your lungs. So see if you can breathe nice and wide. Take a couple of breaths here. Eyes soft or closed. Focus is inward on your breathing. Go ahead and breathe in and out. And again, inhale and exhale. Now bring one hand back to the front of your body. It can be on your belly or on your chest. The other hand's gonna go behind you. I like to put the back of my hand on the back of my body here. Bring your attention back to your breath in case it wandered off. This time you're breathing yourself from the front to the back and the back to the front. Breathe the depth of your lungs several times. Breathe in and breathe out. Once more, breathe in and let it go. Bring your arms to your sides. Lastly, before we get moving here, still with your attention on your breathing, I want you to try and breathe all of those things at once. Breathe your lungs from the top to the bottom. Breathe them from side to side and from front to back. In other words, breathe them in a 360-degree way. Fill your lungs and empty them. Breathe in and let it go. One more time, fill your lungs in all directions. And then exhale completely. If your eyes are closed or your gaze is lowered, go ahead and open your eyes, lift your gaze, and shake that off. You can shake your arms, shake your legs. As we move forward in class together today, I want you to try and play with adding into your yoga a 360-degree breathing pattern. Today's class, we're going to visit all corners of our mat. We're going to face all different directions. So to inspire us to stay in the mindset of breathing in 360 degrees, we're going to do a 360-degree yoga class. Let's carry forth. Go ahead and step forwards to the front of your yoga mat. And when you step to the front, stand in mountain pose. Bring your hands so that they're opening and your fingers are lengthened and energized. We'll do a few rounds of a hopefully very familiar sun salutation to some of you, and then we're gonna mix it up. Go ahead and start with an inhale breath. Stretch your arms overhead. As you exhale, fold over your legs, bow. As you inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, bow, step or jump into plank position. You can lower to your knees if you need a little more support. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Try not to strain your low back. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 3 rounds of breath. See if you can fill your lungs in all directions, and then empty them. Once again, you inhale, press the floor away as you lift your hips up and back, and you exhale. One more time, breathe in, and breathe out. Step or jump forwards. Halfway lift, inhale. On your exhale, bow. As you inhale, rise to stand, reach your arms out and up and stretch them. Exhale your hands through your center and down to your sides, mountain pose. We're gonna do that 2 more times. See if you can follow the movement of your breath as best you can. Inhale, your arms stretch. And exhale, you bow. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, you bow. Step or jump, plank position. Feel strong in your arms and your shoulders. Inhale for steadiness. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale to cobra, maybe upward facing dog for people who want to feel the strength of their arms a little bit more. Downward facing dog, where we'll stay for 3 breaths. Breathe your lungs in all directions. Go ahead and fill them. As you empty, reach your heels down towards the ground or your mat. It's okay if they don't touch, reach in that direction. Breathe in. Empty your lungs, press your hands strongly into the floor. One more time, inhale. And then as you exhale, you can prepare to step or jump forwards. Halfway lift, inhale. As you exhale, bow. See if you can release your head for a moment here. Inhale, arms reach out and up as you press your feet down, as you stretch your arms overhead. And exhale, hands come through your center and down to your sides. One more time. Inhale, arms stretch. As you exhale, fold. Lift halfway, inhale. As you exhale, fold, step or jump, plank position, inhale. On your exhale, bow. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Okay, breathe yourself in 360 degrees here. Fill your lungs and empty them. Again, breathe in and out. Once more, inhale and exhale. Step or jump forwards, halfway lift. Breathe in and out. Press down with your feet as you rise to stand. Stretch, inhale and exhale. Your hands will come through your center and down to your sides. Nice job. Let's continue to warm up some of the major joints of our bodies. We're going to be using our hands and wrists a lot, so we're going to spend some time warming those up too. Go ahead and follow along. Step your feet so that they're just underneath your hip sockets. Bend your knees and start to circle your knees around and around your ankles. Try Try to keep your feet flat on the floor here. Try not to let the inner edges or the outer edges of your feet waver. See how big you can make your circles. And then switch the direction. Even here in these joint movements that we're going to be doing, see if you can continue to breathe in a 360-degree way. Good. Come up to stand. Widen your feet so they're a little bit wider than your hips. Hands will go to your hips, and you'll circle your hips around and around like you're doing a hula hoop. Relax your jaw and relax the tips of your shoulders. If you notice your shoulders have lifted up towards your ears and become earrings, see if you can let that go. You breathe. Switch the direction. Good. Keep your hips steady. Keep your legs strong. Do whatever you need to here with your arms. We're going to circle our torso around our hips and legs. So keep your legs really firmly planting down. You can think of the image of a spinning top that's about to topple over. This is a really nice way to warm into and loosen up the low back area. So especially if you're somebody who feels tightness there, these circles here are really, really good for you. Switch the direction. Good. Come up to stand. You can bring your feet back underneath you once more. And we'll do just a little bit here for the shoulders. Lift them up, circle them around your back and down. And again, they'll go up, around your back and down. Couple more up and around the back. One more time, just like this. And we'll do several, let's say 4 to match what we just did. 4 around the front, going up and around the front and down, and up and around the front. You got it. Last time. And then bring your hands together. Try to keep your wrists pressing into each other the whole time. You're going to circle your fingers and your hands around your wrists. Remember I said we're going to be using our hands quite a bit today. So I want your wrists and your hands and your fingers to be alive and awake and alert. So press your wrists together as you circle your fingers and your hands around and around. Switch the direction. Good. And then a few times, just give your hands and your fingers a good shake, just to say, all right, hands and fingers, you're about to work really hard for me. It's time to be awake and alive and alert and ready. Go ahead and step back to the front of your mat. Start in mountain pose. We're going to start to visit our 360-degree sequence. So see if you can inspire yourself to get in that spirit by keeping a 360-degree breath on board. Starting here with a nice big inhale and a very complete exhale. Follow along the best you can. Listen to my lefts and rights because it's going to get a little bit complex, but I know you can do it. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, you fold, just like we've already done. Inhale, you lift halfway. And exhale, you fold. Go ahead and step your left foot back to a runner's lunge. And we'll stay here for a moment so you can get a nice stretch. If it feels good for you to drop your hips down, or maybe you want to straighten and bend your front leg a couple of times. Since this is our first visit to the runner's lunge, this is my gift to you. Now, if you are practicing on a hard surface, you might put a pillow underneath your left knee. Go ahead and drop your left knee, spin your left foot, keep your right leg the way that it is, and we'll lift into kneeling warrior 2. So picture warrior 2 standing, your body's open, your gaze is over your right fingertips right now, your right leg is strong. Take an inhale breath. Side angle pose, but the kneeling version. You can put your right arm on your right thigh. If you have a block handy, you can put your hand on a block. And for anybody who's able to reach down here, if it doesn't cause too much of a strain, you can put your hand all the way on the floor. Kneeling side angle, just for another moment. Okay. You might bring your block with you if you only have one. We're gonna lift up, straighten the right leg, twist the toes, and place the left hand on the ground or on a block for kneeling side plank, kneeling side plank. So if getting your left hand to the floor is strenuous, put it on a block, and I'm gonna suggest it's a flat block rather than the block on its highest setting, because you'll want it to feel really steady and stable. Good. You can stay here, you can stretch your right arm over your right ear for an extended side plank. And for anybody who's feeling warm enough in their left shoulder, arm, and hand, extend your left leg forward for fallen triangle. Your left leg swoops through that space that you have created. Lift your hips nice and high. Take an inhale breath. Keep your hips lifted. Drop your right hand to the ground. Twisted triangle. Drop your left hip to the ground. A really nice stretch here for the outer left hip, maybe even the outer left leg for some of you. Downward facing dog. Now, however you need to get there, make your way to downward facing dog, but notice we're facing the opposite direction. Take a moment to center yourself. Shift forwards into plank pose. You can drop to your knees for more support, just like you do in your sun salutation. Lower down and find cobra or upward dog. And make your way back into downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Go ahead and breathe in and out. Fill your lungs and empty them. One more time, breathe in and out. Step your right foot forwards, runner's lunge. This time, warrior number 2, but rather than being on our knees, we're in the full expression of the pose. Both feet are planted, right knee is bent, left leg is long. Side angle pose. Breathe your way there. Standing wide leg fold. Turn your right toes towards the back of your mat. Hands will come to the ground. Revolved wide leg pose. Right hand stays on the floor. Left arm opens, I should say. Stretch. And then crawl your hands towards your left foot, facing the same direction that we were in right at the beginning. Runner's lunge. Okay, we're about to do something a little bit challenging, so if you haven't already, recultivate your connection to your 360-degree breath. Don't lose it. The challenge is to step forwards and balance the entire time as best you can. So keep balancing on your left foot as you come up to stand. Nice work. Right foot goes down and then shake that off. Give it a good shake. Nice. We'll do all that on the second side. So you sort of have an idea of where we're heading. See if you can keep your breath on board. Try not to grit your teeth. Try not to furrow your eyebrows. Keep your breath alive. We begin. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, bow. Inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, you can step your right foot back for runner's lunge. Your left foot is forward. You breathe. Again, you can stretch and bend your left leg. You can drop your your hips a little bit closer to the ground if you want to feel that extra hip flexor stretch and groin stretch. And then once more, if you'd like a pillow beneath your right knee, go ahead and put it there. As you drop your right knee, spin your right foot, lift yourself up into kneeling warrior 2. Breathe. Tilt yourself to your left, kneeling side angle. Breathe. Go ahead and bring your block with you if you don't have it over here already. Kneeling side plank, your right hand goes to a block or the floor, your left leg extends, your right shoulder is strong. You can stay here or extend your side plank with your arm like this. And if you're feeling up to it, fallen triangle. The right leg goes forwards and your hips lift. On an exhale, place your left hand down on the ground. Dip your hips down for that really lovely outer hip stretch. Ooh, one of my favorites. And then we'll all meet in the downward facing dog. Plank position or kneeling plank. On an exhale, lower yourself down. On an inhale, rise to your cobra or upward facing. Downward facing for 3 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, fill your lungs in all directions and let it go. Breathe in and empty your lungs. Step your left foot forwards, runner's lunge, warrior number 2. Breathe your way into side angle. And into your wide leg fold you go. Twist your left toes. Hands will come down right between your legs. Revolved standing wide leg pose. This time your right arm is going to open up. Feel that lovely twist. Walk your hands over to the right. Runner's lunge. Okay, and then for the challenge, step forward and balance as best you can all the way to standing. Here we go. Breathe. Try not to hold your breath. I promise you balancing is easier if you're not gritting your teeth, furrowing your eyebrows, and keeping your breath contained. And then when you get to stand, place your left foot on the floor. All right. Shake that off. We've got another variation of this sequence coming up. I'm gonna pepper this sequence this time with a few extra challenges. You can keep what we just did as the baseline. And for those that want to, feel free to layer in these extra challenges if you're feeling up to it. So we begin. Take a nice deep breath. Continue to breathe your lungs in all directions. Arms are going up. It starts just the same as it did before. You'll bow. Lift halfway. And bow. Step your left foot back. Runner's lunge on the right side. We'll be here just for a moment this time. And then go ahead and drop your left knee to the floor. Kneeling warrior 2. Spin your left foot out of the way. Arms are going to go out along the length of your legs. Find your warrior 2 stance. And then breathe your way into the side angle. Keep breathing as you transition to a left side plank. The right leg extends. Your left arm goes down to the ground. Good. Stay strong. Keep breathing. You can stay here. For those that want it, the fallen triangle. Left leg extends, hips rise towards the sky. Right hand goes to the floor. Hip dips down to the ground. Nice, luxurious, twisted triangle stretch. And then we'll all meet in the downward facing dog. Shift forwards, plank pose. Lower down with control. Keep breathing. Cobra or upward facing. Downward facing for 3. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and let it go. Fill your lungs and empty them. Now, if you're needing a little bit of a break at this point, you can take child's pose. For anyone that's got some energy left, we'll flip our dog. Go ahead and lift your right leg, bend your right knee, lift your right knee, open your right hip, and tenderly place your right foot on the floor. Keep your left shoulder strong. Try not to rely on any one part of your left shoulder. Use all of it. Lift your hips. And just as sweetly as you flipped, you'll unflip. Go ahead and join in if you're in the child's pose. Runner's lunge. Right foot steps forwards. Warrior number 2. Side angle pose. Breathe. Wide leg forward fold. Ground your right hand. Open your left hand like you're opening a book. And then crawl your hands over to your left foot. Spin your left foot, runner's lunge. Here's the balance challenge. Shift forward, keep balancing, challenge yourself to make your way into tree pose. Okay, now if you had to tap your right foot down to catch yourself, that's totally fine. We're all gonna meet in tree pose. You can stay here for your balance, and for anybody that wants bigger outer hip stretch, you can take standing figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, bend your left knee, okay? Keep your right knee reaching to the right and down. This is a pretty big stretch, so know that A, it's a big stretch and it's a big challenge for balance. So pick your poison. We'll stay here for another 3. Another 2. And with calmness, let it go on 1. Find mountain pose. And then shake that off. Now, no matter whether that was easy for you or really hard, know that you have a fresh start right now. Give yourself the opportunity to recultivate your 360-degree breath. I promise you, for those challenging moments, it's really helpful to have your breath on board supporting you. We begin the second side. Find your mountain pose. Take a nice inhale and a very complete exhale. Arms reach high. Standing forward fold. Lift halfway. And fold. This time step your right foot back, runner's lunge, and go right away into the kneeling warrior 2. The right knee goes down. You'll sweep your foot out of the way. Arms go out along the length of your legs. Breathe. Side angle pose, kneeling. Left hand down, right arm sweeps up. And make sure your block is handy as you move into your variation of side plank. Again, you might stay here or extend your side plank. For anybody who's feeling strong and tough in their right shoulder, fallen triangle. Lift your hips, lower your left hand, and then drop your right hip to the ground so we get that nice stretch. Downward facing dog. Plank position or kneeling plank. Breathe. And with the support of your breath, lower yourself down. Cobra pose. Maybe upward facing. Downward facing. 3 full breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe into your lungs in all directions. And let it go. One more time, breathe in. And if you need a little reprieve, you can lower your knees and send your hips back to the child's pose. Otherwise, if you're game on for flipping the dog, go ahead and lift your left leg. Bend your left knee. Open your left knee, lift your left hip, and very sweetly place your left foot on the floor behind you for flipped downward facing dog. Just as nicely as you flipped, go ahead and unflip. We'll all step the left foot forwards, runner's lunge. Warrior number 2. Standing this time. Side angle pose. Breathe. Crawl your hands forward, spin your left foot, ground your left hand, standing wide leg fold into the revolved. Right arm reaches out to the side and up. Crawl your hands to the front of your mat. We've made our way 360 degrees around. Runner's lunge on the right leg, only so that we can make our way to a balance. Keep breathing. Challenge yourself here. Tree pose. And for anybody that wants it, standing figure 4. Left ankle over the right thigh this time. Bend into your right leg, palm against palm. And you breathe. I know this is a challenging balance, but you can do it. For another 3. And another 2. And then let it go. Find some stillness for a moment. Take a nice breath of air in. And then let it go. And then shake that off. Awesome job. Go ahead and reach your arms up. Dive your fingertips inwards on yourself. Let your spine curl. Let your head drop. We'll make our way down to the mat. Eventually, we'll all meet lying down on the floor on our backs. So get there however you need to. And once you're on the ground, bring your knees to your chest. You deserve it. It was a lot of challenging, first of all, following directions, focusing on your breath, not to mention all of the fun, funky poses we visited. Good job. It might feel really good right now to circle your knees a couple of times in one direction, or to circle them in the other direction. And then go ahead and widen your legs, widen your feet. You can stay just like this or take happy baby. Same options. You can stay still here or rock a little bit left and right. And eventually, in the not too distant future, lay your feet on the floor. Drop your knees like windshield wipers, one direction and then the next, and then the next a couple of times. Until finally you lay yourself or position yourself in any way that allows you to be really comfortable. If you have a pillow nearby, you can place the pillow underneath your knees. Sometimes that's a nice relieving position, especially if you're somebody who experiences a little bit of tightness in your back, the low back. You might be here. Otherwise, position yourself in any other shape that allows you to get really comfortable and to feel really peaceful. Let your mind and your body reflect the softness of your breathing. No longer do you need to be huffing and puffing and focusing on really expanding to your breath. Instead, let your breath become soft. And let any waves of energy or thoughts passing through your mind start to reflect your breath. And let your body start to become still. My hope today is that you had an experience of moving your body, of being with yourself, being really present, and that you got a chance to experience the fullness of your breath in a wide variety of shapes. Thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to seeing you again in class soon. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.